Hi there, and welcome to another live video. I wanted to share with you something that actually deeply affected me. Yesterday morning, I had a conversation with somebody. He is a young man, um, only about 30, 33 years old, um, with a very young family, a beautiful, loving wife, and two little toddlers. And I was having a conversation with him because he has a brain tumor. And, uh, and so as we were talking, um, one of the things that I believed is that I believed he could absolutely heal from this. But he was very, very afraid, and he was losing hope. And my only concern, biggest concern, was not about the brain tumor, because our bodies are powerful and they can heal anything. My concern, and my heart went out to him, was because he was losing hope and he was very afraid. And he's a beautiful human being who does a lot for humanity. And I could tell that he normally is a strong person who feels who can overcome anything. But in this situation, he felt really weak. And upon questioning him more, I started to realize that the doctors, the oncologists, and so on that he was dealing with had instilled a tremendous amount of fear in him for his condition. And and of course, also a lot of the pharmaceutical meds they were giving him, the chemo and everything, was also making him feel depleted, deflated, depressed, all of these things. But we need to actually feel positive and good in order to heal from an illness. So basically, after talking to him, my heart truly went out to him. And my biggest concern was him losing hope and giving up, and how he was feeling. And the way he was feeling, his entire being was being controlled by medical doctors. And, sound up. Okay, I apologize. Let me take out my, okay. Hopefully that's better now. And, uh, and so the way that his entire state of mind and emotional state was being controlled by the medical doctors that were treating him. And so what I wanted to say here is that one of the things that I learned on the other side when I died is that one of the most important things in our healing is to not lose hope. And I want to shout out to everybody who works in the medical field that please, please, please do not instill fear in your patients. This is not an attack on medical doctors. There is a lot of wonderful work that doctors do, and I know that when doctors enter into this field, that they enter into it with the aim, with the hope of helping people. But what ends up happening is that we get, as with anything, we get caught up in the fear of the disease and forget to look at the whole person. And we forget to look at what that person really, really needs. And so I'm finding, and I hear this over and over. Now, I happen to have this conversation with this person face to face yesterday. And so it actually, I really felt for the person. But there are a lot of people that write into me and they tell me about their medical diagnosis and what their doctor has said. And the first thing I think when I hear it, when I read what they're writing to me, the first thing I feel is, oh my gosh, why has their doctor removed all hope? And again, I know not all doctors are like that, but too many are. And it's the way it is. It's the way the medical industrial complex works. Because doctors believe that the only cure lies in medicine alone. And they don't have enough confidence in the medicine that they have for certain ailments. So please, if you're going through this, visit my last YouTube video where I speak about death sentence or wake-up call. But here's what I want to say. I want to say that if you are in the medical field, please, please, please remember that the biggest gift you can give your patients is hope. The biggest gift you can give them is the will to live, and inspire in them the passion. And please know that this illness or whatever it is they're going through isn't just a random event. It's something that has been brewing because it's a culmination of things that have happened in their life up to this point. This is like the final straw on the camel's back, and it's manifested as this illness. They can reverse engineer it if you tell them, if you guide them. The doctor is supposed to be there to support you. I know that doctors probably don't learn about this in medical school, and you probably don't have time to do this. But at the very least, even if you can't spend time with your patient to help them to figure out what it is that caused it or led up to this point, at the very least, don't take away their hope. Don't give them a death sentence. Don't tell them when you predict they're going to die. And my biggest shout out is, please stop undoing what I am trying to do here. I spread my story because I want to give everybody hope. Anybody that's struggling or suffering, because I was at death's door. I crossed death's door. The doctors had given up on me. They said nothing is going to work. Nothing. They said the chemotherapy will kill me even faster. But look what happened. And so I want people to know that if you know it's possible, if you have a passion for life, if you have a reason to live, those things will take you further than any medicine. And the doctor's job is to support you on your journey, not take away from you the hope and the will to live. So that's something that's so important to my heart. If it were up to me, we would be living in a very different paradigm when it comes to everything from health, well-being, sensitivity, all of it. It would be a very different paradigm. But it very often feels, even for me, like it's an uphill, it's really an uphill climb, an uphill battle, if you will, to really get the message out there, because this current cultural paradigm, this cultural field we're in, is very dominant and very thick and very strong. And what I don't like is that we raise children to be afraid of their bodies. We raise people to be afraid of the doctor and to be afraid of medical exams. We know that people's blood pressure goes up when they go for a doctor's visit. I mean, what does that tell you? The fact that you know there's such a thing as white coat syndrome. Imagine if we could shift it so that the doctor's role was one of being of comfort and support, where people actually look forward to going to a doctor when they feel ill. Think of how many people, though, right now that you know, that avoid going to the doctor when they feel ill because they don't want to feel worse. I hear that all the time. That is ridiculous. We need to change that. We really do. We really do need people to start feeling that, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm going to go to the doctor because the doctor's going to help me figure it out. And the doctor's job is not to scare you, but to actually be there to support you and help you figure it out. It starts from a very young age. One of the things that we need to realize from the time we're really young is that we are powerful. Our bodies are powerful. Our bodies are capable of healing. They're capable of healing from infections and all kinds of ailments. But if from the time we're young, we're taken to the doctor for every little minor thing, what happens is that it sends us the message that our bodies are incapable of healing on their own without intervention. So we end up giving our power away to something outside of us for our own health and well-being. The other thing is that, I've noticed, like, for example, what's often promoted as breast health awareness or breast cancer awareness is women are taught how to feel for lumps, and then you have to go get it checked out because it might be breast cancer. what this does is it instills in you a fear of your body and a fear of your breasts. We have to stop fearing our bodies. We have to actually start loving our bodies and embracing them and getting a better body image. We have to start seeing our bodies as our friend, our ally, something to love and nurture and take care of and support. And stop seeing every little ailment as something that could be really, really scary, that just maybe a little adjustment can help it along. We have to really stop seeing our bodies as enemies. And again, as I said, this starts from a young age. If it were up to me, kids would be taught to value their bodies. They would be taught to love their bodies. They would be taught really, really positive body image and self-image. That would be taught in schools. The other thing I want to say is that when you are going through a physical challenge, when you're going through a health challenge, one of the things that you need more at that time is that connection, because your guides are trying to guide you all the time. They're trying to tell you in ways, through signs and through other people, they're trying to tell you that what it is that's caused this. Very often it is a wake-up call and they're trying to guide you. The more that you are in this state of fear, this fight or flight, the harder it is for your guidance to come through. So this is another reason that I would love to see more empathic doctors and medical care workers, more sensitive doctors who can actually tune in to what the patient is feeling. Having said that, I think that, for example, emergency doctors, really important to our world. Like if I was in an accident, you would want somebody, a really skilled doctor to help you through it. If you needed surgery, you would want a really skilled surgeon. But I am talking about chronic illnesses, long-term illnesses, heart diseases, cancer, all these things. They do not need that emergency mindset. People who are going through chronic illnesses need to pause and stop. Because what is being told to them right now is, you need to do this right away or you're going to die. With something like cancer, that's not actually the case, because it has been a long time brewing before it manifests as the physical illness of cancer. And doctors need to know this. Also, research has proven time and again, that mindset is incredibly important in healing, incredibly important. And I think that doctors, if they are part of fostering this mindset, it would go a long way in helping the patients to heal, instead of the fear-based prognoses and instead of the fear-based statistics, which are sometimes given to patients. Having said that, just on the other side of it, I do want to recognize that there are doctors who are who really are sensitive. I was very blessed to see one several months ago when I was dealing with something, when I was dealing with an infection, and I didn't know what it was. And although usually I have a naturopath helping me, the naturopath wanted me to go see a doctor to get a test, so the naturopath would know what they're dealing with. And so when I went to the doctor, there was the normal anxiety, which everybody feels, is like, oh, what if they find something that's super serious? And I'm like, even though I've been dead and back, it's like, oh, do I want to face my mortality again? Having done the test, which included scans and stuff like that, I was, even before we got the full results, my doctor actually was really wonderful in that literally in the moment, like moments within after doing the test, actually said to me that I want to assure you it's not cancer. Cancer doesn't present like that. At worst case scenario, it's an infection. So she had me go home with that knowledge, and she said, but we need to find out the results to see what kind of infection, and we can prescribe something for them. So I found that very sensitive, instead of her sending me home to wait for results for a couple of days. But this is kind of what I mean. There's not enough doctors like that. And when I mentioned this, what she did, to some other people, they said, oh, bless her heart, doctors don't usually do that. So this is a shout out because for me, really every day, it feels like an uphill climb to undo a lot of what's happening out there. What else is it that we need to undo? We need to undo all the fear that gets spread by mainstream media. The fear, the panic just makes things much worse. It makes people's immune system much worse. We need to undo a lot of the things kids are learning at school, the competitiveness, the ruthlessness, all of these things with the idea of getting ahead, that there's not enough to go around. We would go much further if what we taught in schools was more like compassion, body image, loving our bodies, but compassion, empathy. Imagine if kids were given projects where they were forced to complete projects of acts of kindness, acts of compassion, where they had to write a report at the end of every week or at the end of every month, where they had to tick boxes to show that they had completed like 8 acts of kindness per month, or they wouldn't get a credit for that course. Imagine if courses like that were pushed instead of competitiveness to beat out all the other kids in the class so you can get an A and they can all get lower scores than you. So imagine if we actually changed the way that people are in this world, who we become. Imagine if kindness was valued over and above competitiveness, ruthless, winning at all costs. Imagine if we redefined our education system and redefined what was important and what was important to learn. Imagine if we redefined the medical system and redefined what the focus should be on. The focus should be on health and well-being instead of the focus being on illness. One of the things that I like to do is I like to share stories of people who have had breakthroughs and healings that are unexplainable, that go beyond people's wildest explanations. If you have such a story, please share it in the comments, because people need to hear this. We're not hearing it enough. All we're hearing are the negative prognosis, which scare people. And so the minute you get an illness, you're like, oh my God, it's a death sentence. I'm going to go down that road. But no, we need to hear the stories of the people who are having breakthrough healings, who actually, and we need to share how they did it, what they did. We need a lot more of those. And the other thing that I would like to see happen is I would like to see an end to debunkers and naysayers who like to debunk such stories because they don't follow the norm of being cured by pharmaceuticals. I would also love to see more research done, because right now research is only funded by pharmaceuticals. So all you're getting is research that are just funded with an agenda, basically. You're getting biased research that are only focused on which drugs work and which don't. But there is nobody funding independent research on how increasing our energy field works with healing illnesses. There's nobody funding research on how our mindset increases or benefits our health, and all of these kinds of things. At the moment, when somebody shares a story, people are like, "Oh, that's just." There's a word for it, that it's just escaping my mind. That's just anecdotal. That's it. Naysayers love to use that. They say, oh, that's just anecdotal. There are so many anecdotal stories. At what point does it stop becoming anecdotal and become a fact? So we need to actually step up, share those stories, know that there is more than the physical, connect with the other side, stop labeling it as woo-woo, anecdotal, taboo, naysaying. We really need to do that if we want to change the paradigm we're in. If you don't like what you're seeing in the world, if you don't like the fear that's being shared, please, please, please share more inspirational stories and events of what happened to you or people that you know. So if you like what you've heard, if you like what I share, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to hear more like this, or if you want more content like this. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. And please post your inspirational stories. And a couple of other final things. One, I'm excited about my book, Dying to Be Me. My first book is coming up to 10 years. We're relaunching it with new content in March, and it's available for pre-order now on Amazon. And the other thing is we're relaunching my online sanctuary, where we are going to be conducting energy experiments. I have created something called Infinite Energy Circle, where we're going to have breakout groups via Zoom calls, where you're going to have 8 people in each group with 7 people sending energy to one, and we're going to actually try to see the results we get, because many people have experimented with energy like that. We know it works. It's proven to work, not just healing physical illnesses, but what it does is it gives you insights. It gives you inspiration. It helps you connect with the other side so you can heal all aspects of your life, including relationships, finances, all kinds of things, as well as physical ailments. So that's going to be in my Sanctuary 2.0, which opens on February 2nd, 2002. That's 02/02/2022. That is the date I had my near-death experience back in 2006. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.